Hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Once again, it's Friday, another week has rolled around, so let's check out this week's news and information about DCS World. I'm your host, Prickly Hedgehog. Like I said, I hope you're doing well. We only have 3 weeks left, really, for the end of 2020. Can't come soon enough. Hopefully we can get through the next 3 and a bit weeks without too many disasters. Anyway, let's talk about what's going on. Last week I mentioned the forum update to Eagle Dynamics' website, and it wasn't quite clear. Some of you did point out that you weren't sure which forums I was talking about. Really, this is an aesthetic change more than anything. It hasn't majorly changed the structural format of what they're trying to do, but it is a lot prettier, and hopefully what's prettier and more aesthetically pleasing is good for the community. So check it out too. If you're not familiar with the forums, you know, everything is on there, all sorts of discussions and interesting threads to follow through. But there's also good stuff in terms of training tutorials, discussions about how to do things, also skins and mods for missions and campaigns and things like that as well. So there's quite a breadth. Now, of course, there's other places too that if you're involved in, say, Discord channels, Reddit communities and things like that. There's tons of places that you can seek this information, and the official forums here are just one of those. But like I said, they've updated it, looks good, and congratulations Eagle Dynamics, because that looks a lot better and hopefully be a little bit more accessible for some people, especially if you're using mobile devices, which I think was the primary reason for the update. Alright, that aside, let's talk about some more module-specific news. And in this case, we're talking about the F-18C, which has continued to move ahead in its development progress. And we are going to see a GBU-24 Paveway 3. This is scheduled for this month. What they're saying here, of course, for those of you unfamiliar with this mighty weapon, it's basically a 2,000-pound class laser-guided bomb with general purpose and penetrator warheads. It has advanced guidance over the Paveway 2 bombs and provides range, extended range, maneuverability, and attack flexibility. It is designed to defeat high-value protected targets. The Paveway 3, as I said, is scheduled for release this month. So I'm looking forward to dropping a 2,000-pound bomb on something. I'm also hoping that the special effects, if you like, or the explosions and things will be suitably impressive to reflect that 2,000-pound bomb. We'll have to wait and see. That is one area I would like to see an improvement in, and I know that Eagle Dynamics has talked about that with regards to destructible environment, so on and so forth. So you'll be able to frag some stuff with that. Okay, next on the list, of course, we have the AGM-84K. The SLAM ER, or Extra Range, is the next land attack cruise missile coming to the Hornet. Unlike the current AGM-84E SLAM, the SLAM ER has a greater range, as I said, a more advanced terminal seeker, a multi-steerpoint navigation system, stealthier radar cross-section, as well as greater accuracy when human-in-the-loop guidance is not used. Unlike the GBU-24, the SLAM ER has much greater range and the ability to alter terminal targeting. They are also developing the enhanced data link video transmission for these greater distances, which they hope to deliver early next year. So a pretty sophisticated piece of equipment added to the Hornet, just making it, one more good reason to continue flying this aircraft. They've done a lot of work this year on the F-18, which they had to do. It was being asked for, and they have come through and delivered. I think this, as I said a few weeks ago, is definitely up there now with the A10C2 as a pretty complete model. Obviously, it doesn't have quite the length of time in the game as the A10 and the amount of work that they've done on that, but it's right up there as far as I'm concerned. It's a great, great aircraft and a lot of fun to fly, and these really cool weapons that they're putting on really do add, more flavor to the variety of roles that you can use with the aircraft, which will make it perfect, hopefully at some stage, when we get our dynamic campaign. All right, next, couple more weapons. The AGM-88C HARM. So in addition to the current self-protect and target opportunity HARM modes, we will be adding the pre-briefed PB model later this month. So this is also scheduled, in other words, for December this year. This attack mode targets a geographic location and attempts to engage hostiles within range. Because the range is known, the harm can be lofted, and thus giving it greater range than SP and TOS. HO modes, which is cool. Lastly here, we also have the AGM-84D Harpoon. Now this will be added, and will be adding the SEA mode to the Hornet's radar. This will be an effective tool to acquire and engage moving naval targets. The Harpoon can take advantage of known target azimuth and range to use the range-bearing launch mode for more accurate attacks. So that, again, is another very sophisticated weapon. Don't know when that will be added, doesn't say here, so stand by for that as well. Very cool. And that pretty much wraps it up. There's a couple of other things in progress here. They have this thing called Tinshield, which is an ST-68U radar device. They're currently finalizing the ST-68U mobile 3 coordinates radar station, also designated as Tinshield by NATO. This unit was designed to detect and track low altitude targets and active and passive interference in the presence of intense reflections from the ground and in adverse weather conditions. It is in service with many CIS countries and the former Warsaw Pact countries. So basically it's a Red 4 weapon, but obviously those countries that are no longer part of the Eastern Bloc, so to speak, under Soviet rule, are still operating some of these weapons, which is cool. Next, the BTR-82, which looks like basically a APC. Now, this is a seriously updated BTR-82 model, and the picture looks pretty cool. I'm assuming that's what we're getting in-game. The armored personnel carrier is equipped with a 30mm 2A72 cannon and has been realized with the troop compartment. The BTR-82A is actively used in Syria during patrols by the military police, and that pretty much wraps up. Now, I did see some Facebook news from RAZBAM, who actually got hold of an actual flight stick and throttle, I think, from a Harrier, so that they could do laser scanning on it and actually have a more realistic looking flight control system in the game. So that's pretty cool. I mentioned last week about the Mirage, which was obviously a popular video. A lot of people had thoughts and comments about that. A lot of interest in that particular aircraft. I haven't had any direct contact with the studio with regards to that, so be curious to know how the progress goes. People have asked about the True Grit and the Eurofighter. I don't have any further specific updates. I know that Gero, I think it was, who's the lead pilot slash, if you want, CEO of the company, True Grit, had done an interview in German, which I don't speak, so I wasn't able to read through that. Sure, I could probably find a translation somewhere by now. That was about a week or two ago. So I don't have any, in other words, further information about the Typhoon, unfortunately. Somebody fired off a bitter complaint that one of my videos about the Eurofighter contained no actual in-game footage, and therefore don't waste your bandwidth downloading my video, which I think has over 30,000 views, that particular one. Obviously a lot of you disagree, or just watching it for whatever sake. But anyway, yeah, unfortunately a lot of the aircraft that are in development, we typically won't get in-game footage. You might be lucky to see the odd, that cat needs to go away. You'll see the, a screenshot of in-game footage, if you like. So they've captured a screen of the aircraft flying in the game. But remember too that a lot of the stuff that's in early access is also using very basic flight models. So it's not a true representation of what the final product is going to be. It's really just for illustrative purposes. So, I apologize that sometimes we don't always have, the best information on hand about where studios are at, and they're not always reaching out to us YouTubers. We sort of have to do the digging ourselves, and with the social media stuff, a lot of stuff actually comes through Facebook, Twitter, and other forums as well, but that's where I gather most of my information. And sometimes you do have direct contact, but generally speaking, it's not like a press release that you've been, or you have an inside piece of information from the studio. That would be nice. There's no question about that. Now and again, Eagle Dynamics does plonk something on, one of my YouTube videos just to update something or clarify a point, but that's usually not typical. So that's kind of where things are at. But either way, we've got a lot of things to look forward to. Hopefully the Mosquito will come through pre-Christmas. That's what we're waiting for right now. And of course the Hind is slated for release at the beginning of Q1 2021. So it's not all doom and gloom. We've got things to look forward to. People have asked about the surprise aircraft. I know nothing. I can only guess. My best guess right now is that it could be the MiG-29, and they'll make an actual announcement to say, hey, in 2021 or 2022, we're going to release the full fidelity version of this particular Red 4 aircraft. It's kind of been hinted at that was going to happen. There was some discussion about the Phantom that's way down the track. It was probably a couple of years out in terms of where its development stage is at right now. So, as I said to somebody else, these little paws are just climbing up on the back of the wall here, reaching at cables that they do not need to be reached at. How about you just go somewhere else, huh? Excuse me, sorry, rudely interrupted there. Yeah, so we've had stuff hinted at, but as I said to somebody else on the channel, by now we're really running out of time for a surprise announcement. So if anything is going to be made, it's going to have to be pretty good. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of an empty climax. Anyway, that's where things are at. Thanks for tuning in again. Not a whole lot this week, but very, very exciting weapons on that F-18C, and so those are going to be well worth waiting for, and I can't wait to kind of drop a big bomb like that. 2,000 pounder, man, that's a whole ton of weight. So literally, all right, well, we'll leave it there, and Prickly Hedgehog out for this week. Stay safe out there, everybody. Carry on flying, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.